Welcome to the CMA Ontario Road to Independence virtual sessions. These sessions are presented by Slate Music with the support of Ontario Creates. We're thrilled to have you here and excited about the incredible conversations we have lined up for you. We'll be sharing our best tips on career development, songwriting, publishing, and so much more. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, share with a friend, and hit that like button. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to another session for the CMA Ontario virtual series. And today I am speaking with songwriter, recording artist, and one half of the Second Chance Dreamers, Scotty Kipfer. Hello.
What's up, bud? Hey, don't forget, I'm one half of the show podcast as well.
That's right. And I'm the other half. So, Scotty, today we are going to be talking about how to create impactful content, specifically on one of the newest social media platforms, Clubhouse, because I know that you are a huge fan of that, and we're going to get into that in just a second. First of all, congratulations and good luck on your CMAO nomination.
Thank you.
For Songwriters of the Year for your song with the wonderful Callie McCullough, After Midnights.
Thank you. Yeah, you know what? That was just, I mean, talk about a surprise, you know, in a commercial category like that, to be recognized for a song that was so sort of outside of the mainstream was really special for Callie and I.
Now, I know that was a really big passion project for both of you, and bringing it back to social media, it's so important these days, right, to really be able to utilize what we've got. You know, before Clubhouse, what was when you were releasing all of the details of this, how were you and Callie? Did you have a plan of how you were going to utilize social media, and which platforms did you prefer?
Well, it's interesting. I think Callie is far more adept at social media than I am. You know, it's interesting. When I used to be in the record business and was doing social media for different artists, I found that it was way easier. You know, doing it for myself was a totally different thing. But Callie is just, she's great at that stuff. You know, it's just a totally different animal. I think, you know, social media, regardless of the platform, is what you make of it. So, you know, I've always felt really weird about, you know, going on social media and saying, you know, here's my new song, or here's my new music video, or whatever it is. It all just felt very sort of look at me, which I guess is the point when you're a singer or an artist. But I always just felt weird about the self-promotion piece. So for Callie, she's just all about it. She's like, here, let me show you my coffee. Let me show you my crazy woman now, by the way, in Nashville. And so she's just all about the social media and the Instagram specifically. You know, we're both on Instagram and Facebook, and but yeah, Clubhouse for me has really just changed the whole game.
So let's talk about Clubhouse for a second. Then there are a lot of people that are still trying to wrap their heads around this. You actually invited me to join Clubhouse. You'd said, hey, look, there's this really cool platform that is nothing like what we have been doing when we were talking about the show, right? That's not anything like what's available right now. It's completely different. Tell us a little bit about what Clubhouse is.
Yeah, sure. So in a nutshell, if you rewind to the very beginning of the internet, right, when the chat rooms first started and you could go on, you could like type to anybody in the world. It's a lot like that. It's called an audio drop-in application. And so you log on and there are rooms in your hallway, and you can pick rooms on pretty much any topic. People are talking about, you know, entrepreneurship and real estate and music and movies, TV. There are loads of voiceover people, a lot of radio people, from all formats, right? It's really interesting because I think you have a really unique ability to connect with all kinds of people, and again, around the world. So for a guy who struggled with social media, the first day that I found myself on Clubhouse was really interesting, because the first thing that I did was I got a notification about my friend JR, and JR is the program director. He's I can't remember what his title is officially. He's the he's the director of music programming anyway, whatever the official title is, at Sirius XM in Nashville. So he handles the Highway and the Garth Channel and, Prime Country, all of that stuff. And so he was one of the first people that I followed. He just came up because he's in my contact list. So you can kind of go through and pick people that you're already connected to. And so I connected with JR, and then I got a notification. I didn't have a lot of time to check out what the app actually was when I got on, but I got a notification saying JR was talking in this room. And I thought, well, I'll go see what JR is talking about. And so that was actually my first exposure to the app. At that point, I didn't even know it was an audio drop-in app. I just thought it was a new platform that I needed to check out.
So what was it about what JR was saying that you would relate to being creating impactful content on that platform?
I wasn't to the creating impactful content thing yet. So that was, again, my first day. So it was JR talking to radio people, record people, just big influential music people in the US. And so I found myself being a fly on the wall for a few minutes. And then somebody noticed me down in the audience and said, "Hey, Scotty, come on up." And so I was in there.
Come on up.
So there's 3 tiers on Clubhouse. One is the stage, and that's the people who are actively engaging in the conversation.
Okay.
Then there's a tier below, and that's the people on stage are following. And then below that is sort of general audience. Okay. So I ended up on the stage with these guys and just kind of, listening and talking about music and different stories. The guy who discovered Dre was in there and talking about, the Compton stuff. And it was really interesting, really, really interesting. And so the next room that I went into was an entrepreneurship room, and they were giving advice. There were people from different fields, whether it was real estate or business or whatever field they were in. There were about 30 or 35 of them up there giving advice for people who had questions. And so I thought, well, here's a good opportunity for me as the guy who has always felt goofy about, going on and doing that self-promotion piece. Maybe I can get a little bit of advice to remove that roadblock. And so I went on and I asked that question. I said, I feel gross about this. How can I move forward, confidently and in a way that isn't, offensive? Because I feel like it was offensive. I'm just in my own head about self-promotion. The key is, if you don't self-promote, nobody's going to know about you. So people want you to promote yourself. It was all in my own head. So I asked the question, and there were a couple of different responses. One guy was just like, "Man, just do it." But there was one woman who popped on the mic and she said, "Scotty, instead of thinking about it like you're going on social media to sell yourself, go on social media and be yourself." And that changed everything. So now I'm on this platform where instead of just, posting a photo or posting, a music video or a link to my songs, I can just go on and hang out with people, which is what I love to do, right? That's direct engagement, one-on-one or 1 to, 50 or 100 people at a time. And so what I found over the course of the first couple of months on the platform is that, in actively engaging with people, the return, so there's the term return on investment in business, right? With Clubhouse, it's all about return on engagement. So you go into these rooms and you be yourself and you love on people. You make them feel like you're part of the family. They're part of the family. And it changes everything. It's that high touch, high access piece that allows an audience to connect directly with you.
So you were saying that, you were feeling kind of gross about social media and self-promotion on, in other areas of social media. And you and I have actually had this conversation before, because I'm the opposite, where
Right.
I would love the interaction, but even though I'm in radio and I've been in front of thousands of people before, I feel like just hearing voices almost made me feel like I choked.
Right.
And I did in some rooms.
Right.
I did. And so I know for you and I, we've been discussing switching things up with the podcast and utilizing this more. So what would you say to somebody like me who has those fears about talking live time with strangers from all over the world, sharing what they've got on this whole different platform?
I mean, it's as simple as going on and being yourself. That's the best thing that you can do, right? It doesn't matter what industry you're in, whether you're a musician or in radio. I really think that this could be a valuable platform for radio as well. It's interesting, as new platforms start to pop up, radio is typically quite resistant, right? They were resistant to Facebook, resistant to Spotify. The reality is that these things are happening and people are consuming content on these platforms. And if we don't jump on it early, we're going to miss the boat. So for me, like if I'm speaking directly to you right now, I would say, Amy, you're beautiful, you're vibrant, you've got this amazing personality, right? Go on and just be you, dude, because people love you, right? Like, you don't have to go on and pretend to be something that you're not. Just go on and be you. And so in terms of, growing the social following, right? I struggled, right? I'm not playing the big stages. I'm playing bars. I'm playing patios. I'm playing restaurants, right? Where people are not necessarily, a lot of people do come to see me play, but a lot of people are just there to have a drink or have a meal or have a conversation and hang out. So the guy who's playing in the corner is not really what they're after. And so for me to convert people who have just shown up for the first time to become a follower or to go listen to my songs on Spotify or watch a video on YouTube, it was tricky to get them to do that without just directly asking, right? Like that, again, self-promotion, that's not my comfort zone. I just prefer to sing and let the music do the talking. If you like what I do, hopefully you'll follow me, right? I generally don't make the ask, which is part of my problem. I will grant you that. With Clubhouse, I never said, go follow me. I never said, go listen to my stuff. I never said, go watch a music video. I just went on with the sole intention of loving people. And in doing that, in 2 months, I had 500 new followers on Instagram.
Wow.
In 2 months.
That's cool.
Return on engagement, right? You meet them where they're at. You make them feel like, for me, it was genuine, right? But when they feel like they're part of your family or part of your circle, right? It really changes everything. And
well, and I think the more that people see you and your authenticity, the more people are going to want to stick around for that. And when they see Scotty Kipfer is in a room on Clubhouse, they're going to want to know that when they go there, this is how he will project himself to me, and it's right in a positive way.
Right. I'm going to pull up the app real quick and just.
Do you know how many users Clubhouse has already?
The last time I was aware, it was 6 million, I think, but that was like weeks after I had started. So I started a club called Soulshine, and that's my community. I didn't do anything to promote this thing aside from just being there. And Soulshine, so that the way that it works is there are rooms that you go in and people drop in and you hang out. There are also clubs. So the club would be the top of the hierarchy in terms of, there's the club, here are the rooms that are running underneath that club, and here are the people in the rooms. So clubs were something that were approval only initially. There was no construct to just go on and create a club until, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. And so at that point, I launched the Soulshine Club officially. It was just a room up until that point. doing absolutely nothing except showing up, there are 790 people in the Soulshine Club already, and they are joining us from 75 countries around the world.
Cool.
Like it's bananas, right? We've had people from Saudi Arabia. We've had people from, I've got a bunch of people now in Australia who are becoming fans of mine. There are a couple of people specifically, one in Ireland and one in Australia, who are like, Scotty, come tour. And I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Australia and to go to, to Ireland and Scotland. And so to be able to do that, playing music, but not having to figure out the construct of the club circuit in Ireland or the country music circuit in Australia, and just go to these people who I already know who are scattered across the country. And I can say, hey, I'm coming. What's your local pub, right? It'll just kind of work itself out because people care about who I am and what I do. In a weird way, they care more than my real friends. It's weird, right? I think you could probably relate to this, Amy, right? Like there are people in our lives who are like, oh yeah, that's Amy. She's a radio host, but they probably don't tune in all the time, right? But if you are, if you're at a CCMA event or a CMAO event and you're wandering around, they're like, oh, that's Amy, right? And that's what I'm finding with this.
Right.
There's this sort of, it's real world, but it's not. And it's high touch, but it's not. There's this weird, as an introvert, it's perfect for me, right? I don't have to go out and actively engage with 1,000 people in person and then need to go home and reset and watch Netflix and eat cookies for 2 days. Right. Which is what I need to do on, if I go out and play 8 gigs in a weekend, if it's a long weekend, I'll play from Thursday to Sunday or sometimes Monday, 8, 9, 10 shows. And I need to shut myself down for 3 or 4 days. With this, I don't need to do that because I'm just sitting here, in my pajamas and I'm drawing cartoons and I'm writing songs, getting ready for my next release, whatever that happens to be. But I'm still actively engaging with these new fans. And so it's really extraordinary. It's a beautiful platform. When I first got on, there were no trolls. It was constant
safe space.
Yeah, for sure. And that's changed a little bit as it's like it was invitational for the first couple of months that I was on the app. That's changed now. It's open to pretty much everybody. It's open up to Android now as well. It was iPhone only for the first little bit, but with it opening up, obviously you're going to get the trolls. That's just the reality of the situation. So there is some of that going on now, but it's really easy to manage that kind of stuff. The way that they've instituted blocking and things like that, you can eliminate the trolls from your sphere pretty quickly.
Well, it sounds, Scotty, that you 100% are absolutely creating impactful content and on a platform where the content goes away, right? It's not saved. Right. So that's even cooler because, we're always drawn to like scrolling. And, we like to see, but now with this whole new platform, it's making friends and getting them getting to know you outside of just a photo or a video.
For sure.
And that's really special. So if people want to join, do they have to, is it still invite only?
I believe it's now open, so anybody can download it. I'm pretty sure it's completely open, and even to Android at this point. So
awesome. Well, thanks, Scotty. And wanted to also just touch on before we go, Second Chance Dreamers, congratulations. You've got a new single, Without Love.
Yeah.
You've been busy because you've also got Waiting in the Water, part of your solo project as well. So hopefully you've been, all of the people that have been following you on Clubhouse know all about that, so they can go and check it out as well.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it's been a busy time. The pandemic has changed life, right, for all of us. And for me, again, as an introvert, I've just been able to hold myself away and work, and it's been awesome. So there's going to be a lot of new stuff coming down the pipe. Lots of Second Chance Dreamers music. We've got some new solo stuff coming as well, videos for everything as well. So really excited.
And you just might see a revised version of the show on Clubhouse coming up soon as well.
That's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, man. Well, congratulations and good luck again on the CMAO nomination, Songwriter of the Year. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you for September, bud.
Thanks so much, Amy.